NASCAR has granted Ryan Newman and Matt Kenseth playoff eligibility. That means that they can make it into the playoffs and compete for a championship. That's right. Ryan Newman, that was expected for Ryan Newman because of his injury, that when he got back, he would get into the top 30 in points and win scenario, that he would get that coming back from his injury. Matt Kenseth, it wasn't completely certain, but they ended up granting it to him anyways. But Newman, as I said, we expected it, but we did not know that we would be missing 10 or so plus races. And so Newman actually isn't in that bad of a spot. If you look at the standings here, this sounds like more than it is, but he's only 54 points out of the playoffs. He got 36 points in the Daytona 500. I think he's still got a top 10 in that race. Might have gotten some stage points in there. So he's got 36 points already. He's 54 behind Kurt Busch, who sits in 16th right now. He's not in a terrible position points-wise. He could still point his way in. That's one race. I mean, obviously a lot would have to go wrong with the other guys in front of him, but he is currently top 30 in points, so if he were to win the first race back, he would be in if he could hold that. He is currently 3 points above David Reagan for 30th in points, so he's in right now if he gets a win. As for Matt Kenseth has a bit more of a climb. He missed all 4 races, has 0 points. He is 90 points out points-wise. It's going to be a little more difficult to make up. That's almost double of what Newman has to do. But if he were to get into the top 30 in points, which right now is 33 points, he's 33 out, and he can win, then he would be in. So that's the rules. The rule for this playoff eligibility thing is usually you have to win and make it into the top 30 in points, but you have to compete in all 36 points paying races. But because of both of these unique circumstances, they have been granted eligibility. And as I said earlier, Newman's was going to happen. But as for Kenseth, you could have said, oh, he could have gotten right earlier in the year. But, you know, it's such a unique situation, such an odd situation that, like, I think you just had to give it to him because there's not really an argument that you can't give it to him. That's what I'm going to say. It'd be a tough argument to not give him playoff eligibility. He's going to be racing 32 races, assuming they get all 36 in. He's going to be racing 32 races in that car, so I don't see why not to give it to him, especially when he's coming in to fill in for someone who got fired. I mean, come on. But how will they do? That is the question. How will these two drivers do? Will they make the playoffs, first of all? And second off, how deep into the playoffs can they go? Now, for Newman, I think he can get in. Before the season, I did not have him getting into the playoffs. I think it's very possible that he could even point his way in. As he did last year, he was very consistent last year. If he can be consistent again this year, I think he would have to get some more top fives, though. Running up front, contending for wins more than he was last year, and I think that would help him out a ton with points. He's going to have to get some stage points on top of that. I think that's how he would point his way in. As for winning, Roush Fenway, they've improved a lot over the past couple of years. We saw when Kenseth came into the 6 car actually 2 years ago, there was some improvement there. And then last year, Newman making it into the playoffs on points, beating out Jimmy Johnson. I mean, that team has gone a long way, and Chris Buescher looking so far so good this year in the 4 races that we've seen. He is in the playoffs right now. So I think it's possible. I think it's very possible. I would not be surprised if he were to win a race and get in, or if he were just able to catch up in points and get in. But I'm going to stick with my preseason predictions. I don't think he makes the playoffs. As for Kenseth, I think he has to win. I don't think he can make up the points. It's tough. I just don't see him getting in. Can he win a race? Yes, he's still a NASCAR Cup Series champion, 39-time winner who can win, I think, and he's in a good car. It's not like he's in a Rick Ware racing car. He's in a Chip Ganassi car that won twice last year with Kyle Larson and Kurt Busch in the car. We've seen Kurt Busch, Kenseth's former teammate. He's a veteran. He's older. He's reaching the end of his career. And he went out and won last year, beat out a Joe Gibbs car at the finish, 2 of them actually. So we've seen that it is very possible for those Ganassi cars to win with a veteran in that car. Not saying anything bad about Kurt Busch. I think Kurt Busch is an amazing driver. I think that he's done very well in the #1 car last year. He was running consistently in the top 10. He won a race, contended for other wins. I think he can win again this year. So I think that this is a very good move by Ganassi to get him in that car, to get Kenseth in the 42 car. But I think he's going to have to win. I don't think he can make up 90 points. But I think he can win. But I don't think it's going to happen. But if it does, that would definitely be a story. That would be an interesting story. So both playoff eligible, but I do not think either of them make it. I think the most possible is Newman. Newman's already got points. He's got a smaller gap to the playoff cutoff line when it comes to points. So I think that is more of a possibility that he could point his way. I mean, we saw Chase Elliott make up 25 points in one race last year to make the cut. So I think that's possible. Obviously, he was racing against less guys, but I think it is possible for Newman to point his way in. It's going to be tough for him. He's going to have to be very consistent, run up front a lot. And as for Kenseth, 90 points is a lot more to make up than 54, and he's going to have to win to get in. So I think that both of their best bets, obviously, is getting in the top 30 and winning. I've said that enough already, but thanks for watching. Thought I'd inform you of this. NASCAR, it might be coming back. There's a rumor with the new schedule that could be happening. May 17th, Darlington. May 20th, Darlington 310. You know what? Just look at this picture. Here you go.